Alright, in this video we're going to be doing an oil change on a 2015 Ford Mustang with the 5-liter V8. Already got the vehicle up in the air. The oil cap has been removed. These are pretty straightforward. Not any excessive panels or underbody coverings that need to be removed in order to gain access to the drain plug. The oil filter does have one cover right here. It's held on by one 6mm screw. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. You're just going to take your 15mm ratchet, go ahead and break it loose. You're going to want to bring the drain bucket up towards the oil pan so it doesn't slosh everywhere. And then just thread it out. While that's going, you can check the underbody of the vehicle, check the exhaust, suspension components, motor mounts, steering rack, tires. Inspect your drive shaft. This has still got the steel 2-piece drive shaft in it. Inspect the rear suspension, rear differential, rear tires. Also, meanwhile, you can undo the 1 6mm bolt to get access to the oil filter. It just folds down. There you see your oil filter right there. The part number for the oil filter is for Motorcraft at least, is an FL500S. Just gonna let it drain till it comes to a slow drip. We've got a drain plug here. You just want to make sure that if it has a crush ring that you replace that. These ones have a reusable rubber gasket. Always want to start it by hand. Thread it all the way in as far as you can by hand. This one goes all the way in nice and easy. 15mm socket, and just snug it down. Again, it's not pressurized oil or anything. You don't need to go crazy with it. Just snugging it down will do. Give it a little extra. Alright, that completes the oil drain. Reach up there with your hand and twist it loose till it breaks free. Give it a couple extra spins and let the rest of the oil drain out as much as possible. Be careful doing this when it's hot, as you may get burned. These filters at an interesting angle. It makes it a little bit harder to do it without one either getting burned or making a mess. There she goes.
Slipped down, I didn't want to drop it.
Always with a spin-on filter, you're going to want to inspect the area. Make sure the old sealing ring came off. This one did. You can always look at the old filter. Your new oil filter, write the date on it to remember when you last changed it, or just recall when you last changed it. Lube the, oh, you already did? Yeah. All right. Make sure we lube the new threads and sealing ring on there. Get a good nice seal. The last thing you want is an oil filter to leak oil. Just going to rotate the filter until it bottoms out on the oil filter adapter, and then give it another quarter to half turn, sometimes more, and then you're good to go. Clean up any mess, any oil that's spilt. Going to reinstall the oil filter cover, the 6mm screw. All right, Jamie, what do we have going into this thing?
AMSOIL Signature Series 5W20. I'd like to thank my sponsors. Full synthetic, 1 year for 25,000 miles.
This does take 8 quarts of oil, so make sure you have plenty on hand.
Engage. So that's 2. This is 3. The Shelby intake is lower, and I think what happened on that JLT catch can is it drops down
okay.
3/4 to an inch, which is why I think it gets in the way of that oil filter. I didn't realize, but the shorter runners on the Shelby drop it down a little bit, which is good because the strut tower brace fits.
Yeah.
But is this 8?
Yeah. Yeah, I already preloaded it with 8 and just replaced 2.
So Billy, how many? You have 3 over there? This is 4. And you got the 4 in there, I see what you did. Where are the other 4 of these? Do we use them in her car? So my next case, I only get the 530. What do you use? 550?
Yeah, that one takes 550. Yeah. Yeah, no, it wouldn't.
I'm not turning at that RPM. I don't need that type of. Disgusting.
Some of the S197s with the track pack took 550.
Did they?
The problem with thicker oil is it holds temperature more. So if you don't have an oil cooler and you're running it hot, it's really hard. It's harder to cool down. But radiator or oil cooler, so you do have that. Like a non-car without an oil cooler on it, putting a thicker weight in. If you're going more than, you know, 1 step up from a 20 to a 30 or a 30 to a 40, it's just gonna
gives you problems.
Put your oil cap on. That's where it sits.
Does it look like it's on though?
Yeah, it's on. Yeah, I think it's just the way the plastic is.
I don't like their molded hoses anyway. I'm gonna have to see how your American Racing, your Ford Performance is driving. Maybe a better option. I don't want it rubbing on the
Yeah.
cables to the throttle body either.
All right, so after you add your 8 quarts, you're simply going to fire it up, let it run for a little bit. For a little bit, get a little bit of temperature in the oil, let it circulate, fill the filter and all the galleys. And you'll check the oil level. Remove the dipstick, give it a good clean wipe. On these Ford V8s, the strut tower braces kind of get in the way, so just be mindful of that. Sometimes it's a little tricky getting the dipstick in and out. You don't want to fully seat it. There, you see it? It's right in there. Had the vehicle running, so you're going to want to check for oil on the ground. No oil on the ground is a good sign. And this concludes an oil change on a 2015 5-liter V8